Hello! This video is going to be about my back problem. I've been wanting to make this video for ages, but it's been really hard to make, and I've recorded this clip like 4 times today. I want to try and keep this as short as possible and not ramble on loads because I'm also gonna have to edit it. Funnily enough, talking about how bad it's been makes it feel worse. So I'm gonna kind of maybe rush through the history of it a little bit, but just to give you a bit of context about what's been going on. I've had chronic pain for 8 years, since I was 16 years old. My whole existence has shrunk. I have tried so many different kinds of treatment. I've seen a lot of different people about it. I have not been climbing since November, so I stopped climbing 6 months ago. Something that's really kind of been weird about this time that we're in now during isolation is that obviously no one else can climb, and I know lots of people are really struggling with that. What was hardest for me when I first stopped was that I felt really lonely. All I can say is that we just need to stick together and remember that we're not alone in this weird time. So I stopped climbing in November, and the first thing I wanted to get done was a second MRI scan. So I'm just gonna have my old MRI scan here and my new MRI scan here. The old one was taken 3 years ago and the new one was taken about 3 months ago. And what you can see from these is that I have a pretty big herniated disc, but that it has got smaller over time. The other thing that is really noticeable, and this is the thing that right now I'm kind of focusing on and to treat, which is how straight my spine is. The same osteopath that told me to stop climbing had a look at my most recent MRI scan, and he said that my back has got more straight and has actually started getting fixed in like an inwards curve, which is not good at all. I was also told by doctors that that the pain had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that my spine has lost all its lordosis in the bottom, and that but it was sort of unrelated to my issue, which I really didn't believe. It just didn't feel right to be told that. So I just got back from having a physiotherapist appointment that I've been waiting to have for about 4 months. I'm more confused than I was before. The physiotherapist is referring me on to a rheumatologist, and then it'll probably come back fine and I'll just go back to the physio again, and that'll probably be in another 2 months or something. I have 2 herniated discs instead of 1, apparently, or instead of 1 major one I have 2 small ones, or I literally have no idea what's going on. But apparently those aren't why I have back pain, and the fact that I don't have a curve in my spine anymore is probably not to do with it, even though to me that just is surely. So that's why I kind of I really sympathise with anyone with a long-term health condition, because it's just so difficult to kind of trust opinions, because there are so many different ones. What not having a curve in your lower back means is that the natural spring that your spine is designed to give is not there anymore. It's rigid, and it means that there's a lot of pressure and strain going into my lower back, which is where there is obviously some kind of weakness. The good thing about it is that you can regain curve in your back, and I know people who have done this. Something about MRI scans which is interesting is that a lot of people have an injury similar to this and never get any pain at all. Plenty of people have this injury and it heals within a year. Lots of people have back pain and don't have anything like this in an MRI scan. So when you think about that, it kind of throws into question okay, so where is the pain coming from and why? This is kind of where I am. I've been through 8 years of pain. I have reduced my activity. I've developed quite a lot of anxiety because of the pain. Living in pain is very, you're constantly in this state of sort of survival mode. And now here I am, and we are in lockdown, and the world has stopped, and I have nothing to do, and I'm gonna try and fix my back. Currently staying in a holiday cottage owned by my boyfriend's parents in the countryside. I normally live in a tiny flat with quite a lot of people, which is not a relaxing environment. So this is my new training system. My little hangboard on pull-up bar in the bathroom. Oh.
You. Oh, it is helpful. Look at this. I'm cooking. Oh shit, it's burning.
If you guys could smell right now. So the guy who said he wished that Tom and Annie were the quirky couple that invited him round to dinner on Thursdays.
Yeah. Well, this is what you'd be eating. Alright? Burnt stuff.
Burnt onion.
with some tomato on it. So you get it.
Quirky. It's quirky.
Yeah,
No,
quirky.
Tom's just such a quirky chef. So, this video is basically going to give a little outline of what I've been doing so far during my isolation. I have been doing a couple of exercises which was recommended to like regain mobility into my spine. So that's like the physical thing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get mobility back. But at the same time, I'm also focusing on the mental side of this. So believing that it is safe for me to do these kinds of movements. This is my little chart here, which you probably can't see. And I just basically tick on here every day. I've got different elements of what I am doing. So I've got different exercises, whether or not I've done Pilates, hangboarding, breathing exercises, or anything other. Having sessions with Cien, dog walking, like literally anything, gardening I've got on there. I've been doing this now for like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and the kind of tipping, tilting, shouldery, like rib mobility stuff is already feeling easier and safer, so that's really nice. The other things that I do, which are just general strength kind of stuff, are a few Pilates things, which is clams. I don't know what they're actually called, I call them clams, and the sort of like reverse action of that. These exercises for me basically just activate this like surrounding muscles to my back and just help create like a bit of a support. The other thing I've been doing, which has been actually the most amazing thing, and I never thought that I would like find this from a app on my phone, but I was recommended this app called Curable by Cien, and I have been pretty much doing it every single day. I don't want to talk too much about it yet because I haven't been using it for a long time, and a year membership of it is 50 quid. So I don't really want to recommend it yet until I've maybe like got a bit further with it. But it, in a nutshell, is a combination of like mental exercises, education, writing exercises, and meditation that are catered to retrain your neurological thinking patterns and pain patterns. I will talk more about this app another time, I think, when I know a little bit more about it. The other thing I've been doing, which is really fun, is I've been fingerboarding. We have a quite good like hangboard set up here, which you might have seen on Instagram. And I've been able to do some of that, which is really nice because that's like my tiny little climbing thing. So I'm going to be showing how I do some of that. Hey! So I've left the house and come up to our little training stand. Yeah, before the lockdown I would hangboard not too often because we actually didn't have like a setup that we could put kind of proper hangboards up in. But since the lockdown and we've made this, I've been hangboarding nearly every other day, which has been really nice. And I'm pretty sure I'm kind of back to the finger strength that I'm used to having from before I stopped climbing, which was 6 months ago. So that's quite nice. It kind of takes a little bit of time for it to come back.
But not that much time. Like
no,
you did
like five sessions maybe. My best. So I've been doing max hangs, right?
Yeah.
So I've been doing max hangs, which is 10 seconds on, hanging, and then 3 minutes rest. So you're basically hanging the smallest edge that you can for 10 seconds and then resting for 3 minutes. Which I find quite fun because it takes a lot of... I was doing max hangs on this edge on the Beastmaker 1000, which we think is 20 mil.
Yeah, rounded.
Rounded. And then the other day I was doing it on this nature climbing board with one of the inserts in, which is also 20 mil, but it's not as rounded, so it actually feels more positive. Then my fingers started hurting quite a lot. So I don't know about today if I'm going to manage this, but I think I'll warm up and see how it feels.
Go on then, Annie, how do you warm up?
Warm-up routine is not always the same because it kind of depends how I feel and what's feeling sort of good or bad. But generally, lots of shoulders, lots of fingery moving around, getting my arms warm, and then I'll also do some like upper back, middle back bits. Should you warm up your legs when you're hangboarding? Sometimes I warm up my butt because to support my lower back injury, sometimes I squeeze my butt when I hang because it just helps it stay, I don't know, I don't want to be clenching my lower back while I'm hanging basically. So instead I squeeze my old tush. See this?
Neil Gresham's Instagram.
Yeah. He does it with like a band that's circular. God,
I think he also has a slight bend in his arms, but...
I do, you just can't see you in the jumper.
Okay.
I find this so hard.
But yeah, go check out Neil Gresham's Instagram because he has good videos on hangboarding.
Pretend you're a windmill, windmill. Fingers. I have this little guy, which I really like. You can do your extenders. Is that right?
Let's just say it is, yes, extenders is right.
It is right. Flexors. The bit that isn't squeezing.
Yeah.
And I have tried using, oh god, what are they called? What, the little jelly men? Little discs in a pot.
Okay, yeah, the jelly discs. Jelly discs. You're gonna put.
They've got a name.
You're gonna put one on the screen now, though, so it's fine.
I'm using those, and even the like easiest one I find really hard. I find this really good, and then you can also squeeze to warm up. So I'm gonna do that now.
Squeeze it. Yeah, girl.
Flicks. Oh, this finger hurts. Flicky, 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 flicky. Oh, this one always kills me. Oh god. Woo! Okay, now this next one is a kind of new one that Cian just told me to start doing, which I really like, particularly because I can't do a push-up. And I really want to be able to, and so I've been doing them against the wall, which makes me feel like a dweeb, but I'm picturing the day when I can just crank out 50 push-ups just like that. It'll be really good. So this is going to be worth it. Just imagine this is the floor. 4. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good work, Annie.
Oh, I can't do one arm.
You're looking real strong there.
I actually find this so hard. It's really upsetting. Nice. Feeling warm. I'm gonna start hanging on some bigger things just to like get into the movement.
When was the first time you saw a duck?
What, any kind of duck?
Yep. An alive duck.
So I can't count all those dead ducks I saw.
Yeah, as a child.
I used to think that's just how they were. Didn't realise that they used to move.
Could be over squeezing because you're worried about falling off.
Yeah. Finger in there is feeling kind of tender.
Yeah. You know what I would say?
What? Don't hang board? Oh.
There.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I think you've just strained something. You haven't done anything else.
Cool. So I should
No.
do some max hangs on it.
No, you shouldn't.
To just finish it off.
No, that would definitely be bad.
Well, I'll show you what I would do. Could I do one?
You can do one on a bigger edge than normal.
Okay.
So what does a max hang workout look like, Annie?
Max hang workout looks like I put a timer on my phone. And then we put it up here so I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go and count to 10. And I won't do 10 today, but that actually felt fine. Yeah, 10 seconds on, and then a 3-minute rest. But by the time you're down to your 5th set, it's never long enough. So yeah, you hang 5 times basically with 3 minutes in between.
Yep.
You little cactus muffin.
Get in a shoe. Sorry.
We're
raw.
inside so long we're regressing to our childhood passion,
Which was the Mighty
which
Boosh.
is the Mighty Boosh, and we haven't watched any for ages.
I don't
for
need
like
to, it's
years
all
and
in my
years.
brain.
Yeah, it's all up there.
What happens now?
I'm going to talk about this t-shirt.
You going to talk about that t-shirt?
I'm going to talk about
It says squid on it.
That's because it's by Squid Climbing. They sent me this tee and I quite like it. It's got this really nice collage kind of vibes, which I really like. Sometimes I do art like that. But not as nice. Anyway, they are offering you guys a 10% discount with the code DabRats10. So if you would like to get yourself one, they just launched, so you'd be helping a brand new business.
Hey, we're doing an outro, geezer.
To say or do. So yeah, I'm going to be continuing with some more stuff about my rehab for my back, and I'm also going to have the first climbing session. I'm going to say it's the first time I've climbed in 6 months because it feels like a momentous occasion and I'm going to take it. So yeah, next video will be me trying to climb after 6 months off. Yeah, there we go. Ha! Ooh,
Make sure to subscribe, eat a biscuit, isolate, tessellate.
Stay at home, people. Stay at home.
Isolate, tessellate, inseminate. Let's go.